Hello everyone, thank you for watching. I recently produced a video on Martin Talks where I argued not to release the names of suspects. This brings up a broader topic. What happens if something unfortunate happens? Let's say it's a fight and it's not easy to prove what happens. There's no perfectly system in the law that will guarantee the correct verdict. Let's say there's no witnesses, or even if there are witnesses, that still doesn't guarantee the correct verdict. And if we, by mistake, convict the wrong person, that's a double injustice. It means an innocent person's being punished, and the one who perpetrated the crime is being set free. And I always say there's better systems, there's worse systems. The better the system, the more likely to have the correct verdict. But I don't think there is an absolute perfect system. And I want to therefore repeat what happened to me more than 20 years ago. I live in a high-rise building, and I once got a letter from management, and it was directed to me, my name was on it, regarding doing something on the balcony that is not allowed. It is so long ago, I don't even remember what the claim was. What was I throwing something off the balcony or barbecuing or putting a sign up that's not allowed? But anyway, I wrote a letter back to them politely explaining my innocence. Does anyone want to guess how I showed that I'm innocent? It was rather easy. I said to them, my unit does not have a balcony. I could therefore not have done it on my balcony. You see, I live in a building where some units have balconies, others do not. My particular one does not have a balcony. And I even wrote in that letter to them that even if I wanted to do this, I would not be able to. Someone in management did call me back. He left a message on my voicemail. He apologized. He said that letter was meant for someone else. Remember, this letter had my name on it. It was directed directly towards me. He said that letter was meant for someone else. And for some reason, he cannot explain why, he says they sent it to me by mistake. And he said the management does owe me an apology, a formal apology. You will get it. I didn't get that formal apology in the end, but that's not serious. Thankfully, to the best of my knowledge, nothing really bad happened. Fortunate for me, it's a situation where proving innocence was very simple. Many cases, however, it's not so easy. I therefore want to explain another story that happened to a relative of mine many years ago. This is an incredible story full of twists. I actually say this relative of mine is both lucky and unlucky in this event, and I'll explain why. And this is so unusual and bizarre that I do not blame you if you do not believe me. What happened was my relative was in her car waiting for the traffic light to turn green. In the lineup of cars, she was number 2. When the light turned green, the car in front of her, by mistake, went into reverse, accelerated backwards, and slammed into her. There was considerable damage to the 2 cars. Fortunately, no one was hurt. I mean, what's the probability of that happening? And generally in the law, if one car hits another from the back, it's the car behind who's responsible. In this unusual situation, who's responsible? That's an interesting legal question. So the reason why my relative was unlucky, it's a situation where it's very difficult to prove what happened, and who is going to believe her? That's why she's unlucky. But here's why she was lucky. She was lucky because she had a good witness. The car behind her, the 3rd car in the lineup, was a cop car, and the policeman sitting in the car witnessed the front car accelerating backwards. And the policeman actually said, he admitted that he would not have believed it had he not seen it with his own eyes. And I appreciate his honesty. I mention that story because it shows how just one element, in this case, the policeman behind her, completely changed that outcome. Just that witness rearranged what happened in the end. And unfortunately, this relative of mine is no longer alive. So I cannot really ask her what really happened after that incident, who was found guilty of what. I would love to ask her for more details. This, and I've seen many times on court cases on TV where a verdict is completely flipped on its head as a result of one detail. This brings up an interesting idea of mine. It's my suggestion. What happens if every car on the roads, enforced by law, carries a dash cam, a special camera for this purpose, and it's designed for this purpose, that it has really good footage, it's reliable, and let's say it records everything when the car's moving, and everything recorded stays for a period of time, let's say a week, after which it will be deleted. If there's an investigation or a need, then footage gets saved. And of course, deleting or tampering with the evidence would be a serious crime. I do agree that this dash cam would cost a lot of money, but it will also save money. There will be fewer court cases, there will be shorter trials, there's much more probability of the correct verdict being reached, there will be fewer driving incidents, people will think twice before tailgating, road rage, running red lights, speeding, or hit and run, or many other things. All these above things that I mentioned would occur far less often and would be easier to solve. And I believe there'll be potentially cheaper insurance and fewer bogus insurance claims too. And most important of all, I believe these dash cams will save lives. And I believe just the act of knowing the dash cam is there, consciously or subconsciously, will make drivers behave far more cautious on the roads. And of course, there's the obvious downside as well. There's the cost of these cameras, the administration, the reliability, maintenance, installation, and so many other things I may not have mentioned. So we have to analyze if the money saved will outweigh the money spent. That's the big question. And the problem, of course, is I'm not an expert on cameras or dash cams. I could not tell you the costs. I do believe that if we could find a way to put my idea into practice, the roads will be overwhelmingly safer. And as I conceded, I'm not an expert on cameras and dash cams. That's why I request, what are your thoughts? Do you think they should be mandatory? Are there any dash cam or camera experts watching this? Maybe you can tell us about what the costs and challenges are involved with doing this. And let me know, put it all in the comments. And as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching.